October 1st, 2022. Halfcast 355, episode 355. Let's go. Of course, I have a few things to share with you guys. An evening of reflection. Shall we? Ohio woman claims self-defense after shooting dismemberment of husband. I can understand self-defense. The jury might justify self-defense, but how the hell are you going to explain to the court that your self-defense also included chopping up your husband's body? What did she think? He was going to revive, come back from the dead like a zombie? With that one last point to finish the argument. Bonnie Vaughn, 59, is facing a murder charge for the killing of her husband, Jeffrey Feldman. Authorities found his body dismembered in the garage of their Ohio home, according to records. John Havens, believed to be the 34-year-old boyfriend of Feldman's daughter, reportedly assisted Vaughn with the gruesome crime. You know how they say take a look at the mom, and that's a preview of who you'll be marrying? That boyfriend had to be either incredibly stupid or incredibly brave to want to stick around and find out if he's going to be the next husband on the chopping block down the line. And this stock photo of the crime scene does not do the article any justice. I was looking to see a little bit more separation in the chalk outlines. On Wednesday, September 28th, Vaughn appeared in court. The Ohio woman allegedly shot her 55-year-old husband to death before having Havens mutilate his body. Authorities arrested Vaughn for the crime on Tuesday, September 27th. Havens turned himself into the Middletown police. He was charged with abuse of a corpse and tampering with evidence. How could he even field that type of request? That's not even his mother-in-law. That was his girlfriend's mother. You see how the two don't sound similar at all? Yeah, because that's the difference between the answer being no and fuck no. In the hours leading up to Feldman's death, he allegedly argued with his wife in the parking lot of a local bar in Ohio. Vaughn told detectives the verbal altercation resulted in him choking her. She added that the 55-year-old also threw a chair at her. According to Vaughn's attorney, she shot him in self-defense and claimed he continued to come after her even after he'd been shot. Ohio self-defense laws do cover for deadly force, but just like any other state, she has to prove that she had no other way out. It was either him or her. Middletown police confirmed they responded to domestic incidents involving the couple before. During Wednesday's court hearing, an officer testified that marks were visible on Vaughn's body when police arrived on the scene, as reported by Ohio news station WLWT5. Authorities revealed Vaughn tried to avoid being arrested when police arrived at her Ohio residence. When officers pulled into the lot, Ms. Vaughn did attempt to flee. Officers used their patrol vehicles and boxed her in. She was then taken into custody without further incident, Middletown Police Major Eric Crank shared. I think her self-defense claim would be more solid had she not tried to hide the body, with the police already having a history of making multiple visits to their home because of domestic incidents. Basically, all I'm trying to say is if her daughter's boyfriend wasn't such a goddamn yes man. Her defense will hold a lot more weight today. Michelle McRoberts, who lives across the street from the couple, spoke to the Ohio outlet WLWT5 about Vaughn. She described her as a little bit off, which is a very nice way of saying she's a few minutes short of an hour. The neighbor added, sometimes she didn't always appear to have it all cognitively, maybe together, but yeah, she was very nice. Bonnie was always very nice. Sounds like sweet Bonnie might not have been playing with a full deck. And her husband picked the perfect time to find out. Both Vaughn and Haven remain in custody. Their case has been sent to a grand jury. Vaughn's bond was set at $1 million, while Havens is being held on $15,000 bond. Next up, woman kills ex-landlord with hammer after he confronted her about forged checks, prosecutors say. A hammer used as a murder weapon says a lot. It says that this person has to go no matter what, and if all I got is a hammer, that's what I'm using. This is happening right now. A Massachusetts woman allegedly beat her former landlord to death with a hammer and wrapped his body in a curtain after he found out she was forging checks in his name and had stolen over $40,000, officials said. He must have thought he was dealing with a woman that you have a little sit down, a little tea, a little face to face, a little heart to heart, and set everything straight. Oh no, he was supposed to notify the authorities. Sheesh. Xiufeng K, 43 of Newton, was arrested and arraigned on a murder charge Wednesday in connection with the death of her former landlord, Leonard Garber, 65, the Middlesex District Attorney's Office said in a statement Wednesday. Garber's family reported him missing on Monday, and Newton police visited his home to conduct a wellness check but couldn't find him. Police made 2 subsequent visits to his home on Tuesday and discovered his body. The body was wrapped in a curtain and found under construction materials and other heavy items, the release said. Based on a preliminary assessment, it appears that the body may have been there for more than 1 day and that it had been placed in such a way as to conceal it, officials said. So this woman was out here forging checks. She had no problem in committing murder to tie up the loose ends, and she also knew how to hide the body. Who the hell is this lady? It was later determined that Garber and Kay had been spending time together. Oh, there it goes. All what you won't do for love. And that Kay had allegedly been forging checks from the victim's accounts, stealing more than $40,000, the release stated. Because my initial thoughts were, how did she get his signature to forge passable checks? How could she possibly have gotten that close to him where she could have enough time to get his signature down? When Garber became aware of the theft, he allegedly confronted Key, and she allegedly struck and killed him and then attempted to hide the body. Did you get close to me just to use me? Or did you have any feelings for me at all? Yeah, why do you think you're getting the smooth side of the hammer? In the investigation, police combed through financial records and surveillance footage from Garber's home, which showed an Asian female, later identified as Kay, entering his home in the days before his body was found. Prosecutors said Kay was a tenant of Garber several years ago at a different property, not where the attack took place. Kay allegedly confessed to the killing after she was called to police headquarters, saying she used a hammer in the attack, prosecutors said to NBC Boston. During the interview, the defendant admitted that she had stolen checks from Leonard Garber and that she had killed him. Assistant District Attorney Julie Kunkel said in a court Wednesday. She later stated that she had used a hammer and hid his body in the location where it was eventually found by police. It's just that whole vibe that man probably would have gave her the shirt off his back if only she would have asked. I get that impression because instead of him immediately going to the police as he probably should have, he brought it to her. He brought it to her face to face. Prosecutors also said there was evidence she had stolen checks before. Gee, you think? She's a seasoned vet and owed debts. That sounds more like a Squid Games type of situation. The defendant sent out a message on a group chat admitting that she had stolen the money, that she owed gambling debts, and that she wanted to end her own life, Kunkel said in court. Kay was ordered to be held without bail Wednesday. It's not immediately clear if she has a lawyer. Next up. NYC postal workers stole credit cards from the mail to buy $1.3 million on designer clothes they sold online. So the PPP well has gone dry. Now they're back to bilking the general public. 3 U.S. Postal Service workers stole credit cards from the mail while on the job and bought more than $1.3 million in designer duds and accessories to sell online, Manhattan federal prosecutors said. Because how the hell else can you compete with Saks Fifth Avenue with no startup money? Oh, the entrepreneurial spirit is alive and well in America. Chanel, Fendi, Hermes, and Dior were the brands of choice, according to a federal indictment unsealed in Manhattan on Thursday. U.S. Attorney Damian Williams said the workers' brazen criminal conduct began in December 2018. The scam saw them manipulate credit card companies and major retailers across New York and New Jersey by stealing credit cards and using those cards to purchase and subsequently sell luxury goods, Williams said. I think those type of high-end companies keep close track of their merchandise to make sure it's either bought from the source itself or it's bought from an authorized dealer. If not, they know there's something out of place. The defendants took advantage of the public trust. Is that what it is? Really? Trust? We place in the U.S., if you say we do, in the U.S. Postal Service employees for their own financial gain, he added. Postal workers Nathaniel Foucault, Jonathan Purcell, and Fabiola Monpoint allegedly swiped the cards and handed them off to 5 associates or shoppers who bought the luxury clothes and bags at department stores in Manhattan, Brooklyn, and New Jersey. Foucault, Monpoint, and Purcell are facing charges of access device fraud, bank fraud, and other related crimes. The accused shoppers, Rashawn Richard, Devon Richards, Conrad Heron, Luis Joan Verley, and Kareem Shepard, are still at large, federal officials said, as was Johnny Damas, who directed them to buy what he resold on LuxurySnob.com, which describes itself as an online store specializing in pre-owned luxury items, which in that case, they probably would have been better off just selling them on the streets, word of mouth. How are you going to start a whole online business selling nothing but stolen items? All the ambition. Matthew Modafferi, the special agent in charge of the Postal Service's Office of Inspector General, said the agency's probe is not over. The conduct alleged is disgraceful, said Modafferi. Our office will continue to vigorously investigate Postal Service employees and their co-conspirators who violate the public's trust. Fun show, fun show, fun show. That being said, I'm going to wrap this one up, but I'll be sure to talk to you guys very, very soon. Adios.